Barely Quilting. On today's episode of The Weather, I have our manager. She does my paychecks. This is
No, I
Jordan.
don't.
I know. I don't know who does.
I do not have that authority.
I don't know who signs my paychecks, but I assume it's Jordan. This is our adult. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm an adult. I am Jordan. I work here at Off the Rails Quilting. As Kendra said, I am the manager, although I don't manage a lot.
She's the adult we all call. There are times I'm filming at home and I'm like, Jordan, I need an adult. What do I do?
I just answer questions.
And talk about plants with me.
And talk about plants. Yes.
We're very exciting.
Uh-huh.
But on this episode of a Barely Quilting interview, I suckered her into it.
She sure did.
Yep. Anyways, first question.
Okay.
Jordan.
You need to work on your segues.
I don't need to work on my segues. I choose to be like this. I was a comedian for 14 years. My segues are fine. But first question, when did you start sewing?
So I started sewing. Do you just mean like starting sewing, like the first time I touched a sewing machine?
Yeah, the first time you just went touch.
So my mom sewed, my grandma sewed. I'm guessing her mom and her grandma sewed. So it was kind of a family situation. I never had too much of an interest in it. And any interest I showed, my mom would be like, yeah, yay, go do stuff.
Go team.
It wasn't until I went to college for apparel merchandising and design. I had to take a sewing class. I also had to learn the anatomy of a sewing machine, which I failed that test, but I did really good on all my sewing samples. I ended up dropping that class, and I do not have a degree in that now, but I have a degree in advertising. I did go to college.
I went to college but didn't get a degree.
But then after college, I moved back home, and my dad, his hobby is watching TV. So I was sitting and watching TV one day, and he said, Jordan, you need a hobby. I was like,
roasting.
Okay. He's like, you can't just sit here and watch TV all day. And I was like, okay. So I started a quilt, and I made a quilt, and then that's where it started from there.
Is your dad a hypocrite?
A hypocrite.
For the TV?
I think he only wanted one in the family.
Okay.
No one could take his hobby.
No one could take his hobby. So this kind of like leads back into your family. So when you were getting started, who taught you more, your mom or your grandma?
My mom. I guess I should back up there too. I took like sewing classes in high school, like home ec or whatever. And all of this to say, my home ec teacher did not teach me how to sew, but so when I did that. Anyways, back to your original question.
It's better than when I was in high school and the home ec teacher asked me a question about a sewing machine. I was like, one, I don't even have you as a teacher. Anyways.
No, I got my sewing machine taken away from me because I was too fast. No, so my mom probably initially taught me how to sew. I can remember sewing with my grandma, trying to make a quilt for my mom once when I was probably in junior high, if even. I don't think that quilt ever came into fruition, but so I don't know. I don't remember that specific answer. So yeah, all of the above.
D, all of the above.
Yeah.
So going back into quilts, because I was going to ask, do you remember what your very first quilt was?
Yes, I do. I even have a picture. Should we put it here?
Picture.
Yeah, so back in 2016, it was 2016. I know this because that's the summer I graduated college. I was dating my now husband, and I decided I was going to make him a quilt. And what was the question? Do you remember your first quilt? So yeah, so I found all this, like, it was batiks and it was quilting cotton. Do you mix batiks and cotton?
Unpopular take, and I will get eaten apart by this. I will do anything to not touch a boutique.
A boutique.
Jordan, fix my words.
Asterisks. Yeah, I mixed them, but I don't see anything wrong with it. But I know some people, that's a big quilting police situation. But yeah, there was no pattern. I just kind of put some strips together and then put some sashing in there. And it's still at my house today. It has lots of holes in it now. So I don't think it was, yeah, the backing was like cheap Joann's fabric. And so, yeah, that's my first quilt.
I buffered. What drew you to quilting? Here's a pencil. I'll leave.
I guess the convenience. My mom sewed, my grandma sewed. So when I had to pick a hobby for my dad, it was the obvious choice. So yeah.
So
I would say that.
Okay, I know the question to this, but the people won't.
Answer. The
Both. Both. What does your mom do for work?
Oh. So some of you may know this, but my mom used to work here for a little while. But now she works for Riley Blake. She's the technical pattern editor for their in-house patterns. So she just makes sure everything is correct before it gets published.
I'm going to try and see if I can convince Jordan to ask her mom to let me interview her. Put Jordan on the spot on camera.
My mom is much more composed than I am, or professional.
The professionalism is an option.
It sure is. That's why I work here.
Yep, that's why we're here.
I put shoes on for this.
I have shoes on. Was there ever a moment in like quilting, obviously, that it became more than just a hobby, especially with
Well, obviously.
Look where.
Sorry. Don't report me to HR on that one.
I thought you were HR. Who's HR?
Oh, that's Jenny.
I work here. Anyway.
What's the question again? What? Oh, yes.
Yep.
What's the question again?
Was there ever a moment?
Oh, when it became more than a hobby. So actually, this is a whole story. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
You want the story? Okay. So
give me the tea.
I had found out I was pregnant, and I was. What if my old coworkers watch this?
That's on them, not you.
I was getting really frustrated at my old job. Just how people were communicating, how they were, and like, I just did not like the way things were going there. And I had worked there for 5 years. Like when I got out of college, I had worked there. But you know, when you're pregnant,
I don't think so.
For me at least, I was very irritable, and so like the things that had set me off the edge before were like a whole nother thing. So one day I was very frustrated, and I was like thinking, who would I like to work for? What would I like to do? Like whatever. And I was like, well, I like to sew. I would rather go home and sew than work here right now. Oh. And I was like, Author House Quilting, I like their owners. Like, I wonder if they're hiring. So for fun, I searched on the website to see, and apparently they had a job listing that was supposed to be taken down months ago, but never got taken down. And it was part-time. I don't even know what I was doing. Social customer service. And so I emailed and I said, hey, any chance this could be a full-time position, something? And right away, they called me and they were like, or emailed me or whatever, and they're like, it could be. What are you thinking? And so I kind of explained. And then they were like, okay, we'll talk. We'll get back to you. The next day I was at work and I had really hit a point. And I just got up and I was like, I need a few hours to myself. I will be back in a little while. And my boss, she was really cool. So she sees this, you know, I like you.
We're good, bestie.
She was like, yeah, absolutely. Take the time you need, whatever. And so I went to Taco John's. This was the only time I got sick during my pregnancy. Oh. But I got Taco John's. I went home and I complained to Jacob for a while. And then I decided I was okay. I was going to go back. And right before I pulled into work, I got an email from either like Ann or Jenny that said, hey, would you have time this afternoon to come in? Or, hey, when you get a chance, call me. And I was like, okay, I'll call him like when I get done with work or whatever. But then right after I read that email, my boss where I used to work called me and was like, just take a mental health day for the rest of the day. Like, don't come back. We just need these days sometimes. And I'm like, okay. So then I sit in the parking lot at my job calling Ann and Jenny, and they're like, do you have time this afternoon to come in and talk to us? I was like, I have all the time in the world this afternoon. And as you know, the rest is history.
Fun fact, when I interviewed here, I remember them telling that story, and I was sitting there like, oh, I also emailed you from my job's parking lot in Green Bay. Because I had just come back from a visit, and I was like, it's meant to be.
Yeah. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, it's on the internet now. Okay. What is your favorite project that you've ever completed, just like in the span of, we can say like since you started working here?
Does it have to be then?
Does it have to what?
Be in the lifespan of me working here?
No.
Like a quilt project I've done?
Yeah.
Picture here. So I did this moth quilt.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
Yeah, and now I'm gonna do so many pictures, and I'm just gonna like pop one of Roxanne in here randomly, so it doesn't line up, and it makes it anyways.
It was like my third quilt, maybe my fourth quilt, and I wish I could show you this right now. Obviously, you won't see till after, but my mom is very, if you want to do something, do it type of thing. And I was like, this looks hard? Is it hard? And she's like, I think you could do it. Just do it or whatever. And it's like
full send.
Yeah. Yeah. So I started that. I finished it. It looks great. Obviously.
Not to be selfish. Not modest. To toot my own horn.
Yeah. The funny thing with that project though is I never measured any of my fabric ahead of time, and I ran short on.
Welcome back. My phone died, so now we're on an iPad. Anyways, back to where we were.
You can see more of me. Okay.
Tall. Okay, if you could choose only one fabric to use for the rest of your life, what would it be? Like material-wise, it doesn't have to be a line. Just
what?
If you had to choose one type of fabric to use for the rest of your life, like
just like regular quilting cotton. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay. I was writing these at 1 in the morning.
That's a great question.
Whoa, not all of them are going to be out of the park. Okay. I guess we kind of got into this, but like, what made you want to work for the quilt shop? And you can go more in depth of like why you loved it here. And
yeah, so I have always felt very welcomed here. Well, prior to working here, I still feel welcome here. Obviously,
when I knock on the door, it takes like 5 minutes for them to answer it. Very welcome.
I did have my office door shut for Kendra today.
Anyway,
no, so there's been other quilt shops that I feel like when you, as a younger person, walk in, they don't take you as seriously. All my younger people here can probably relate. But Ann and Jenny were always so like over the top, like welcoming or whatever. And I knew Hannah had worked here, and obviously she's my age. And I guess I don't know. It was just, I don't know. Anyways,
yeah. I'm gonna piggyback off of her. I know this is an interview for her.
Yeah, wow.
Yay. But as someone who is younger that quilts, I have been to a lot of different quilt shops, just like getting fabric for me or my mom. And I definitely have noticed as a younger quilter, I definitely am more of the, oh, you're just here for your mom or your grandma, is like how I was treated. I was never treated as like an actual person who knows how to touch a sewing machine. So that is definitely a thing.
Yeah. So I think, what was the initial question here?
What made you want to work for the quilt shop like this one?
Yeah, so when I was talking about everything else, I was thinking, who do I know that would make a really great boss? Like, who would I want to work with? And they came to mind. And then another thing, which I don't know if I knew this ahead of time or not until the interview, but they really hit on like family first. And so I don't think I mentioned this before, but like I ultimately left my other job because I was like, I cannot raise a kid like when I feel like this at the end of the day. I'm so annoyed here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to go home and like whatever. So I was like, I need somewhere that's more upbeat, more family friendly, things like that. And during my interview here, actually, they said something about you're like obviously this is a weird subject to talk about in an interview, but something about if you have a baby, you can bring your baby up to like until your baby's 6 months old to work with you. And I was like, I was already debating like my ethics about should I tell them I'm pregnant because I was
Mm-hmm.
only 10 weeks pregnant at that point, and I felt my millennial anxiety would not have let me. Oops, I touched my mic.
It's okay. I do that all the time.
I would have felt really anxious accepting the job without them
Mm-hmm.
knowing that piece of information.
So you felt seen but not
Well, so
exposed.
when they told me that, I was like, okay, I need to tell you something. I'm actually pregnant right now, and they all like Hannah, Ann, and Jenny all like freaked out. They're like, oh my gosh, they were so excited for me, and obviously that's a great feeling when you're like
Mm-hmm.
at an interview and they're like
Yeah.
excited that you're pregnant when you're interviewing for a job with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a really big thing for me, and I brought my kid here up to 6 months old, and I'm so thankful for
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a human child,
it.
but when I first started working here, I had adopted a puppy like I want to say 2 weeks into the job. That was smart. But I got her from a rescue, and I'm not gonna expose the rescue, but I'm still salty at the rescue, and I'm gonna be salty at you for a long time. They gave me essentially like a dying puppy.
Oh.
And I remember I was upfront with Hannah, like just telling her about this. And Anne came out and was like, if you need to leave right now, you go. Don't even worry about it. And I was like, I like it here.
Yeah.
They care. I actually feel seen as like someone who grew up. I worked for a lot of small owned businesses, and I've only ever worked for one like two corporates, and I've always felt more welcomed at these small owned businesses, and I will always be an advocate for go to a small business if you can. They actually care. And just Anne and Jenny were always very we care. You're like our family here. You are our family.
Mm-hmm.
We're
It's
gonna
very family first.
we're gonna put you first because I remember that in my interview too,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't have a kid, but thank you.
You could
So
have been 10 weeks pregnant and we didn't know.
I hope not.
Another thing I like about here is we're very open about whatever we.
Yeah,
It's not appropriate, but
Jordan is convinced I got married.
I'm only convinced she got married because in a video, I don't think I've posted it yet, but maybe
It
by the
hasn't
time this
been.
comes out, you'll see it. She calls her boyfriend's mom her mother-in-law. So of course, next time I saw Kendra, I said, Kendra, did you get married? Because what else is one to expect?
The only text Hannah got from me was Jordan asked me if I got married and didn't tell anybody. I mean, that's something I would do, but I don't remember getting married.
I just thought it sounded very unlike you to get married right now.
Yeah, because then I told my boyfriend and I was like, when did I get married? And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, who did I marry? Because it wasn't you. I would like to know. But back to we're adults and we're doing adult things.
We are adults.
Sometimes. How many quilts do you think you let me restart that. How many quilts do you think you have made in total, like for
Oh
your whole
God,
journey?
100.
Do you do the samples?
Yeah,
Okay.
not lately. I have not been really in the sewing mood lately.
I didn't think that one through until I looked up because we have samples behind us, and I'm like, oh, I might have done Jordan dirty.
I remember, so I got married in 2018. And at that point, I was still counting how many quilts I had done, and I had done about 19 to 20 at that point. But that was before I worked in a quilt store. Let's just say 100.
All right.
That's a pretty fair.
Yeah, that is fair. I don't like making the samples. I'll do some of the like the smaller samples I cover on the show, but I definitely would not like doing like the big quilt samples.
I do easy ones or ones that I know that I can gift to people.
Yeah.
Like the Goodnight Moon one, I don't know where it went, but I was
I
like,
know.
that would be a great gift for all my friends are like having babies right now, you
Mhm.
know. And so I was like, that would be a great one for someone that I don't know,
Yeah.
a good generic, not generic,
I
but
know what you mean
yeah,
though, because
it's good name Moon.
yeah, I've kind of gotten to the point where it's like I make a lot of quilt tops for the show that I just like donate them
Yeah.
because that's what's so nice about working here is I get that opportunity to be able to do that like more than I was before.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of like quilts and like just sewing in general, what tools or supplies do you think are crucial to have like in your life?
Well, in my life,
It's not.
copyright, don't sing that.
I didn't sing it, I screeched it.
um,
What tools or supplies do you think are a must have for like your own sewing journey?
so I mean, you need a rotary cutter. Like I've seen people like just draw like their square and
Mhm.
then cut it out, and I'm like, oh,
That
that's
hurts
Kendra.
me.
I can't believe people do that. I mean, all the power to you, but that's just not time efficient in my toddler fueled home.
Yeah.
And I like to read, so then that also bumps into my reading time. And
I feel a little insulted.
do you? I'm so sorry. So I'm gonna say rotary cutter for sure. I like my pink Olfa because it's pink.
Loofah.
Oh my gosh, I did buy new loofahs the other night. Pink.
Fancy. I bought my boyfriend a pink one and I kept the blue one. I didn't tell him I bought a blue one till after.
Um. Also, I mean, like a good pair of
Mhm.
scissors, because you don't want dull scissors because that will drive you nuts.
There's a reason your mom yelled at you not to touch her fabric scissors.
Yeah, but let's be honest, they're all being dramatic. I use my fabric scissors to cut other things.
Yeah.
Gasp.
Gas.
But if they're there and it's gonna be annoying.
Clutching my pearls. I have pearl earrings. I was hoping to make that joke sometime today.
Oh gosh. It's a Friday.
What's your funniest moment
Wait, I'm
working?
not done answering that question. Okay, so I'm really into like cutting scrappy quilting.
Mhm.
And so I actually really like my little square ruler. So I have a 2.5 inch square ruler. I have like 3 or 4 actually. 2, 3. And then I have a 3.5 inch, 4.5 inch, 5 inch. I don't know if I have any bigger ones than that, but I love it because I can take my piece of scrap fabric and I can just put it on my rotating mat and I can just go ship, 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 ship.
Wiki, wiki, wiki is where my brain went with that. Yep. Okay. What's the funniest and or you know say like memorable quilting moment you've had?
Oh, give me an example.
Okay. I have one. Buddy, our cat, this is just one that comes to my brain. He's mean, but like he's mean and I'm just trying to help you, eh? I was lining fabric up during a video I was going to film and he laid on the foot pedal and it went through and it scared me because I was like I was leaning over the machine so my hair was like on it. That
Suck
was
your hair in.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Hannah might have cleaned some of my hair out of my
Yeah.
machine and I didn't tell her. That was one for me. Or Roxanne, when I first brought her home, the very first thing I did was brought her to my sewing machine at the time, sat her in my lap, put her paws on the thing, and I was like, okay, now get ready for this noise to desensitize her. So for like 5 minutes, I was just hitting the foot pedal. The machine was broken. It was beyond repair. It just made the noises at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't like kill the machine more, but I desensitized my dog.
I don't really have an answer for you on this one. Was this in the original ones you sent me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just rewrote them down on a sketch pad and I drew Spider Man.
I really don't have anything. I can't think of anything.
That's a valid answer.
Well,
I'll
okay.
take it.
I'll give you an answer if you need an answer.
I mean, you can.
It's not really an answer.
Okay, I'll take it.
I sew a lot at nighttime,
Mm-hmm.
and I sew with my headphones in, and I listen to a lot of thriller books during like this time.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to in my old house, my sewing room was in the basement, and I used to make Jacob, my husband, text me before he would come home or like come downstairs so I wouldn't be jumpy. And sometimes he didn't do that. And so lots of times I'd get freaked out. But that's my memorable story, I guess.
Being trauma. My sewing room is also in the basement, but with how our house is set up, so like the garage door and then the basement door are like this.
So anyone could come down and kill you.
I mean, the cats try. It's more of the, is Kendra gonna fall off a chair and kill herself? Is the question. Because I'll just get a text from my stepmom after she hears just like a giant bang, and she's like, "You good?" A lot of the times I lie and say, "Yeah, it was our really fat cat." In actuality, it was me. I fell off the couch again. But yeah, that's a memorable one for me again, I guess.
Good one.
Thanks. Thanks for taking the blame, Tank. I appreciate it. So I always like to end these interviews. I know.
We're done.
Oh. Oh, don't you know we're done? But I always like to end these interviews as I know I kind of like commented a lot.
Oh, this was the last question.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. You sound so sad. I always like to end these with, you can ask me one question, because I always feel like that's fair. But like, I did piggyback off of you a lot.
But why wouldn't you have told me this before the interview so I could have come up with a good question? Not
because I like to put you on the spot, because I was worried if you were going to ask me if I got married again. I didn't. So I wanted to get you on the spot.
Okay.
It's gonna buffer.
This isn't fair.
Do you want to take a break and come back?
No, I gotta stay focused here. Got things to do, people to see,
money to make. I don't know.
Money to make.
Okay.
Okay. What? Truth or dare?
Dare.
I dare
Quit
you.
your job. Truth, you're fired.
Oh gosh. I don't. Okay.
Someone didn't watch the first interview.
I didn't watch the end, I'll be honest. I just watched the beginning. And I did tell you that. I said, I don't have the time to watch this, so please make sure it's appropriate so I can just post it.
Yeah, you say that a lot about a lot of videos, so I forget.
I watched some of them. I knew that your gummy bear one had like 3 places that needed to be clipped.
Yeah, I didn't know how to. Apparently, I don't know how to hit the save button.
So don't give me that attitude.
Don't you Gen Z up in here.
Okay, my question for you is, what is the weirdest thing you've ever sewn?
The weirdest thing? Well, I could go back into like when I worked at an animal clinic and say someone's dog.
Oh gosh.
But like fabric wise, I'll bleep it just so we can get your reaction, and I'm going to turn around as I say it. With the audio of where I cut it out, that's the weirdest thing I've made, Jordan.
You're going to cut all that out?
Just the audio. Just the audio.
Okay, that's fair, I guess. I'm in her pictured here. Just kidding.
No. I would like to keep our PG rating. If you learn to sew, you get asked to make weird things.
That's true.
Well, thank you for coming to Barely Quilting. This is who I interviewed with the job here. So if you're wondering why I'm weird, you can ask her.
I'm not going to watch this interview. Actually, I probably will.
Actually, I'm not going to watch your work.
No. I don't want to see me.
But anyways, thank you for watching. This has been a Barely Quilting interview, and I'm hoping to do more of these and with a couple more people around the shop. So stay tuned as those are coming out. And now I'm going to go find Hannah to film a TikTok. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Bye.